best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, J-Bird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. Welcome to Don't Hassle Us for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. It's Monday, April 6th, 12:01 in the afternoon, and it's hard not to think about that tonight. One NCAA basketball team should have been cutting down the nets. Confetti falling from the rafters, and Luther Vandross singing One Shining Moment. But it is what it is, guys. Hey, real quick, we're all going through this thing, and things happen. People's lives get turned in a different direction. Yes, as of right now, I want everybody out there to know, as of right now, I am alone in the studio, but I don't need any help, okay? So I don't need messages or anything like that. Hey, I'm coming in or anything. I do have guests that are coming in. T-Roy had things to do. Bomber has things to do. Surge has things to do. I completely get it, all right? So I need you to as well. So instead of hitting my phone or hitting the messages or anything else or saying like, hey, can I come in? Or, hey, do you need any help? I don't. I have guests coming in. I have Chris Michaels coming in at 12:15. I have Jimmy Siokas and Karen Marie Pena coming in at 1. So I'm fine. We have plenty of things to talk about until they come in. We've got, obviously, the coronavirus thing going on in the weekend. We had the governor's press conference, which, by the way, 100% I believe that she was going to order stay at home at 11 o'clock. And she didn't. I thought for sure that was going to happen for Iowa, for the state of Iowa. But didn't. But we do have some things to talk about. We've got sports to talk about. We've got WrestleMania to recap. We've got a NBA Basketball Hall of Fame 2020 to talk about. I don't know if my opinion will be very held high about the NBA Hall of Fame 2020. But I'll give you that later. We've got some esports to talk about as well. How did the NBA 2K tournament go? We've got a little bit of controversy to talk about the e-racing that happened too. Bubba Wallace is in some hot water, lost a sponsor over the weekend. More importantly, though, today is a kickoff, and I am obligated to tell you about this. The Quad Cities is launching a 24-hour giving event to support communities' response to the COVID-19 pandemic. 100% of contributions will support Quad Cities organizations responding to crisis locally. It is read, media, foundations, and nonprofit funders in the Quad Cities are uniting to support the community's response during this COVID-19 pandemic. Unite Quad Cities for COVID-19 Recovery will be a 24-hour giving event this Monday, April 6th. Right now. It reads more. All contributions will support the Quad Cities Disaster Recovery Fund at the Quad Cities Community Foundation. The fund was activated 3 weeks ago, will lead support from the Community Foundation, United Way of the Quad Cities, and Regional Development Authority. Donations are already being accepted online at www.unitequadcities.org or by phone by texting UNITE-QC to 41444. Again, texting UNITE-QC to 41444. 100% of the contributions will be granted back into the community. This isn't the first time the region has rallied resources and expertise to amplify immediate needs in the region during times of crisis. Last year, KWQC TV6 led a fund drive for the Disaster Recovery Fund to support long-term recovery efforts from the flood of 2019. There's a quote there that I'm not going to read. Basically, for today, throughout the day, the media partners will feature stories of the impact the pandemic is having on the community and heroic efforts of the Quad City citizens who are caring for one another during this time of need. Paul Sands, for example, is going to host a 6-hour telethon, which also features other TV6 personalities and local musical performances thanks to their partnership with the River Music Experience. I'm not going to go much further. This is probably the first time a lot of you are hearing about this. As a matter of fact, it's the first time that a lot of people in the media in the Quad Cities are hearing about it. Although this thing was up and going 3 weeks ago, I'm going to cut to the chase. This is the worst half-ass thing at an organization for a fundraiser I've ever seen. So it's great. I think it's awesome that they're raising money and it's 100% are going out there, but it's transparent as it all can be. There are people out there in the media right now from your television news stations that had no idea that this was going on. This was a thing that maybe the blogs are out there, but you can do better than this. I mean, bars are doing better than this to raise money for their bartenders. The service industry is doing better. For the fact that iHeartMedia is on here and they cut, how many jobs in this area last month? In January? They were dislocating people, and now they want to give back. iHeartMedia wants to give back? Nah. What they should do if they want to give back is they should put people on the air that'll give news to the people and brighten up their day. Is it important? 100%. And I don't want to seem like a Debbie Downer, guys, but I go up and down just like you do as well. All right? I go through these things, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I see the people that are linked, some of the names that are linked to this. If you go to the UniteQCities.quadcities.com, and I see names that are linked to this that are people out there. People that have sent eviction letters to people. Lawyers that have sent eviction people letters threatening them. And now they're raising money out there for this to try to get their name out there. It's transparent. It's awful. And we don't need to do this. If you want to donate, go ahead. And when Chris comes in, he's raising money for a good cause in the service industry. And not to say this isn't a good cause. I'm just saying, I don't know. I struggle with this as much as you do. I don't have the answers for anything. I try to social distance the best that I can. Yeah, do I have guests in here? Will I have guests in here? Yeah. Do we sanitize? Absolutely. Do we try to keep 6 feet apart? We do. When I leave here, do I go out and about? No. I go home. I'm scared about what's going on. I don't have the answers. To educate myself on it, it's hard to do because the libraries are closed. I don't trust the internet. I don't trust the media to teach me. I don't trust your Facebook posts with your links to things. Not one bit. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for this show, if it wasn't for Don't Hassle Us, We're Local, if it wasn't for making content and sharing it out there to try to brighten your day, I'd probably shut down social media. I think relationships are going to be affected because of this, and I'm not talking about marriages because they're quarantined together. I'm talking about friendships because people go on Facebook or social media and they decide to leave messages and write things about how people aren't social distancing correctly and what's going to happen when this is all over and we don't know when this is. People are going to remember those posts, and they're going to remember the time that they were sitting with their neighbors, and even if they were 6 feet apart, and they're going to see that person that made that post, but they're going to think the whole time that they were talking about them, and they're going to hold that in the back of their head. And eventually, if something happens, they're going to bring it out and say, like, I know you were writing about me because I posted something on social media where I was hanging out with my neighbors in a driveway. And it's going to create problems down there. It is an erosion of society right now. Do I want to write my opinion? And again, I guess I shouldn't even take the time here at 12:09 in the afternoon to do this, but I've had it. And I'm done after this. I won't anymore. But I don't have T-Roy to say anything. I don't have Bomber. I don't have Surge. So I have my time right now to do it. But I think about posting things. But I don't. I take a step back and I say, is this worth my time? I don't really believe, guys, that my opinion matters that much. To be honest with you, I'm filling time now for content. But I have it just like you guys. I do have feelings and I go up and down. But I don't think that my opinion means that much to you. I'm just lucky to be able to do this for 2 hours out of the day and talk sports with my friends or people that I invite in here. Who are my friends too, I shouldn't just say people. And I'm lucky to do this. Whether you listen or you don't, that's fine. Whether you mute me on Facebook or mute Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on Facebook, that's fine too. Like I said, I'm lucky. But I don't think I'm carrying any weight whatsoever. So I do not know at all why it is important for you to write things about what people are doing on Facebook. But I am worried about what's going to happen because this is an erosion. It's going to, just the littlest crack it's going to create in society because people are going to remember what you write. And they're going to think it's about them. People do that. They think it's about them. Am I talking about certain people? Maybe. But I guess the best way to think about it is if you hear these words and they hit you, just remember Carly Simon, you're so vain. It's not. If I see you on the street and you say like, hey, I heard you on the radio on ESPN 1170 AM, or I saw you on Facebook, were you talking about a post that I had? I'll tell you yes or no. I have no problem. And when social distancing's over with, I have no problem putting everybody into a room and saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And they can say, well, I didn't like what you said. And I say, okay. That's the beauty of me, guys. That is absolutely it. It takes a 1986, 87 movie, Dirty Dancing. The dad sitting there goes up to Johnny, says, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. That's all it takes for me. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. Just think before you post things, guys, okay? And this is the honest goodness truth. You guys are seeing me at my breaking point. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where the end in sight. I don't think any of you do. And whatever you cut and paste and put on Facebook and yell at people and use exclamation points and emojis or whatever else, it means nothing. It does not weigh on me one bit because I don't believe anything that anyone's sharing anymore. Just like same thing. I think it's great. And any donation helps for just this thing right here. But this is a laxed and way of doing it. I'm going to stop. I'll get off any talk or tangent about it. You guys don't normally see this from me. Usually I'm the one that's even-keeled and let everyone else go off. But you guys got to be nice to each other. And that's what everyone needs. And I'll continue to keep trying to create this stuff. But, yeah, you guys are killing me out there. You guys have opinions, and it's too much. We got to help each other. Because there isn't much in sight. And they said this is going to be the worst 2 weeks coming up. This is our Pearl Harbor, which I hate, by the way. I hate that statement. We sent 18-year-olds off to war after that. But do your best. If you need to donate and you want to go to Unite Quad Cities, go ahead and do it. Like I said, 100% of it's going back. When we come back, we're going to talk to Chris. Chris is also raising money for the people in the service industry here in the Quad Cities, and we're going to talk sports. I'll stop with this. I apologize, but guys, sometimes a man's got to reach his breaking point. And like I said, I have the time to do it. I have the means, the microphone in front of me. We'll be right back. Don't ask us, we're local. We got Chris in studio. We'll talk about raising money. We'll talk sports. We'll talk poker. See if you saw WrestleMania. I'll give my input on the WrestleMania as well. We'll be right back. ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Rachel Alger with St. Ambrose University.
What's Unite Quad Cities doing?
Don't hassle us, we're local.
Goddamn fucking
1170 AM.
It's the biggest half-ass thing I've ever seen.
Really?
It's all these media guys and they put it together like at the
wipes
last
are
minute.
not meant to be flushed. These items take longer to break down when compared with traditional
Is this a
toilet
short
paper.
thing too? Or?
As they make their way down the pipes, they start clogs that lead to blockages and can cause serious damage. If your toilet or pipes do become clogged, please give us a call at 563-388 9900. We are here to help.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away goes troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter.
Hi, I'm Mark Brenny from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic with a few words about our current situation. Here at Brenny's, we are committed to being safe and responsible for the next foreseeable future. I intend on keeping my bike shop open to service our loyal customers. Keep in mind, motorcycle riding is social isolation. So, we have implemented curbside service for all parts, service, and sales. We will limit access to our buildings to those who need the help. Our employees are inside working on bike repairs, arranging financing for new and used units. We will pick up and or deliver units as necessary. Your best bet is to call on the phone or email our sales department with your requests or concerns. All our inventory is in our website, brennys.com. There's no joke or punchline in this commercial because I don't want to make anybody sick. However, when this thing gets back to normal, and they will, prepare yourself for some truly cutting-edge, tasteless humor from me. Sincerely, Mark Brenny, Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, across from Alcoa, almost.
Hey, this is Eric at Winger Truck Line, where we have been in continuous operation without a layoff for 74 years, and we are hiring drivers. During this unprecedented time in our nation's history, Winger Truck Line is staying strong and hiring for regional home weekends. We are busy serving our families, our customers, and our nation. How about you? Call me today, 800-593-6433, or see us online at drivewtl.com. Let's go!
Never miss a thing with the ESPN 1170 app. Listen live from anywhere in the world and be notified when news breaks. This is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, welcome back to Don't Hassle for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. I apologize there. I didn't. I started talking to Chris here in studio, and I didn't get the our usual music coming back in. I was too busy trying to come down from what we were talking about before. But Chris, how you doing, my man?
Very good. It's Monday. It's you know, it's funny. We're in a pandemic. We're locked up inside, and this is such a way better winter weather-wise than last year. It's like I just want to be out all day long in the park playing hoops, something like that.
Yeah, again, I don't want to fall back on what I did in the opening segment here, but yeah, I did see a post where someone's like, "Oh, April, whatever, usual," and it's like 6 inches of snow. Your car's under in like April and under quarantine 2020, and it's sunny out, and I'm just like, go for a walk. Like, just stop. Instead of posting things, go for a walk. So, Chris, tell me what you got going on. Obviously, we talked about that we have the Unite Quad Cities, and but you have something going on as well. It's QC Strong, right?
Yeah, right. So I own a country bar in the district called Billy Bob's, and we have a sister bar that really helped us get our start, called Hazard County, and it's in Cedar Rapids, and they were doing a drive called Cedar Rapids Strong. They had these really cool shirts, and it went out to all the bar industry in Cedar Rapids. And so I contacted the company that started this for them and that was making the shirts. I said, hey, this is really awesome. I bet you guys are making a ton of money. And they were. They made tens of thousands of dollars for the bar displaced workers in Cedar Rapids. And so I said, hey, would you guys mind bringing this down here to the Quad Cities? It's $20 a shirt. However, they're only taking $5, so they're just covering their costs.
Yeah.
And so $15 from each shirt is going right back into the industry. And we're talking about bartenders, wait staff, busboys, janitors, anybody that's displaced right now within a restaurant or bar industry.
How are you going to disperse that?
That's a great question. So I talked to a couple people that are helping me with this. We think the most bulk of it is going to go towards gift cards to Walmart and Hy-Vee. That way you can buy your essentials, your food, diapers, formula, stuff like that if you have kids. And then depending on how much we can raise, we would like to pay bills also. So if somebody has an electric bill that needs to get paid, rent that's due, but if we could help with that, that would be the end goal. I can tell you right now, in the first 3 days, we've raised $5,500.
Good.
So my goal is hopefully to sell 2,000 shirts. It goes till April 17th. So we have about another 11 or 12 days, and we're off to a good start. $5,500 is definitely a good start, and I think we can get close to 20 or 30 grand, hopefully.
Give them the site again that they can go to for that.
Yeah, so it's actually on Facebook. It's QC Strong, or if you want to type it in the long way, it's Facebook.com/Quad Cities Strong. Facebook/Quad Cities Strong, or you can just kind of search it QC Strong, and then we have all the links to the site where you go buy them at, which is actually Thanks for Noticing, and it's a company, like I said, out of Cedar Rapids that started this and are helping us with these shirts. So Quad Cities Strong if you go on Facebook, and then the link is Thanks for Noticing.
Man, I think that's great that you're doing it, and I know that you guys do a lot at Billy Bob's for the community and giving back. It was actually one of the first things when you opened, you right away were big on giving back to the community.
Yeah, so a lot of bars don't get cover charges. We do have country bands Friday and Saturday nights, and so Friday nights, whatever the cover charge is, sometimes it's $3, sometimes it's $5. We just do $1 from each cover charge. So most Fridays, between $200 to $400, we're able to give back to a local organization here in the community.
It's got to be tough, when you're being shut down like this. And again, before you came, I appreciate you coming on, by the way, and coming in here. I was talking about we were now down to we're at April 30th. Hopefully, that's right. I don't really believe that the end is in sight. Depends on what you want to believe or what you read or whatever else. But you're staying positive. You're getting things out there. It's just got to be tough.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, man. My biggest concern when this first happened was my employees, definitely. So I won't talk about how much, but I know myself and my partner, we did take some money out of our account and help our employees a little bit, what we could, not knowing how long this is going to last and how much we're going to lose, because as a business owner too, in the bar industry, there's a lot of hidden costs people don't know about.
Yeah.
So just to keep the bar closed and the doors closed, you're talking about losing tons of money, especially with a bar the size of mine, which is 12,000 square feet.
Yeah. Well, let's come back to all the stuff that the money you're raising, and let's talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend. You watched WrestleMania. I watched WrestleMania. The first time WrestleMania is a 2-night event, billed too big for just one night. In actuality, it's because they had to move it to the Performance Center, and why not when there's nothing else going on? They have no Final Four to go up against. So Saturday and Sunday night, I wrote a little bit about night one and how it changed. Again, change, especially someone at my age, it's tough for somebody who actually, and I'm not kidding you, has seen every WrestleMania probably within, if not the day of, within months of it being released on VHS when I had to go to Mr. Movies or whatever else.
Right,
but
right.
I know I saw it in closed captioning 1, 2, and 3 I saw in closed captioning. So for those of you, that's pay-per-view when it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's easy right away, and I wrote it on ESPN1170am.com that to want to just crap all over it. And at first, it was tough. I'm not kidding you. There's no crowd there. The announcers are trying to sell it like it's a big-time feel. And for me, the change wasn't until Rollins and Owens, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens match, that I was like, I'm in. You really like the triple threat ladder match.
I did, but I am a huge John Morrison fan,
Okay.
or especially when he's on TNA at Johnny Nitro. So I thought those guys were awesome. I mean, they're taking some risks. They took some bumps. I thought it was a really good match, and the end of the match wasn't like any other ladder match. Usually somebody climbs up, there's somebody hitting each other, one falls off the ladder, the guy grabs the belts, and it's done. You had all 3 people up there, 2 of them grabbing the triangle that holds the belts, Morrison falling off the ladders but happened to grab the belts right onto the bottom ladder. I just loved the way it ended. I loved all the theatrics to it. They took some pretty good bumps along the way as well, and those were just 3 good workers, man.
They are good workers, and they all got to show their highlights. Morrison with his parkour, and we all know what Kofi can do with when we go back to all the Royal Rumbles. But really, for me, it was the WWE now. Vince is very strict on their promos. They're scripted out even down to like what they're saying. You need someone like Chris Jericho to look at the points and go and throw it away. Be like, okay, I got it, and then he goes off. Rarely does he allow that to happen. Now, during a match like that, Owens and Rollins, there's not a lot of scripting they can do. That's where I thought was key.
Can I tell you? I will tell you this. The one thing with not having the audience there, you can really see when wrestlers are selling it. And oh my God, was Rollins selling the crap out of being hurt. His moans and grunts sounded real, man. I mean, real. I know why he is a top dog in the WWE, because that dude can sell it, man. I was listening, like I said, there's nothing else there. There's no audience. There's nobody yelling. I mean, you can tell when somebody's half-assing it. Can I say that? Or not. And Rollins was all in, man. He was selling that.
Now, what I wrote on ESPN1170am.com is that this was what the WWE gave us. Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's fine. It's still competition. They're athletes. Yes, they are athletes. They're also actors. But what the WWE gave us was a glimpse of what sports might look like if fans aren't in attendance.
Yeah.
I said that if baseball is to go on with fans in attendance, not saying they're going to, but it's a possibility, miking up the players is now a must. 100% a must.
I agree.
Because what you got, like I said, you got to hear the interaction, them talking. It wasn't I go left, you go right. It was an actual fight. They're calling each other out. So let's go. I mean, we all love the All-Star game when they mic them up. We love the preseason games we saw earlier in 2020 when you have Rizzo and you have Bryant mic'd up for the Cubs. It's just something. It should just happen. It's another element that will get viewers in there.
I think so, man. I think most sports are going to turn to that. I mean, didn't the XFL start that the first time they were around? Something like that. So, I mean,
they had more sidelines, like right there, and they did that a lot this year too. But I don't know if they were mic'd up in the helmets. But going thing I wrote is the Boneyard match.
Yeah.
Which it's an adjacent of Matt Hardy's Broken Universe, but I thought it was fantastic. And this is all on Saturday night part 1. We'll talk part 2 in just a minute. But
yeah, so I mean, the biggest swerve, the best thing, because it even scared me, I'm not gonna lie, when the Undertaker was in the grave, and then all of a sudden, AJ Styles is on the tractor, and then boom, he just pops out of nowhere. And I thought that was super cool. Like, that was dope. That made it like a movie. It was like watching a movie, So that was great.
I said that this is also going to lead that they're going to have like matches like this that will be on the network exclusive, getting more subscribers to watch such things like this, because it was campy. It was like, I was trying to explain it to T-Roy. It was a B style horror film.
Yes, exactly what that was.
And
that's good.
But it was produced, and they did a good job. And then, so I'm done. I'm like, this is great. Part 1's great. I can only imagine now part 2 is going to be so much better. Part 2, Sunday night. All right.
Right.
Like the Firefly Funhouse match.
I like the old school take. I mean, when they brought out the NWO and incorporated that and stuff like that, and the older stuff, like when they had the bars back when WWE was on Sunday mornings.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm 41. I loved that because that was me when I was 9 watching that stuff. So I mean, I liked it. Yeah, it wasn't cheesy. Of course, it was cheesy, but I thought it kind of took a little bit of the numbness out of it since there was no fans there, and it was something different. So I kind of liked it actually.
It had to say, I seriously was still I had to watch it and then watch it later on, and still was like, what did I just watch? Good for them. It kind of was a, this is just as much as Cena's idea as it was Bray Wyatt's to put this together. And yeah, it took him through. Basically, it's Bray Wyatt showing that he's been overprivileged and had everything handed to him, and you got the win in the end. You've got to feel bad about loss of WrestleMania moments like Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman. They don't have Drew McIntyre doesn't have the fireworks at the end.
Yeah.
But again, it was interesting.
What do you think of the length of those two title matches? The Strowman match was really a squash match, right? I mean,
100% it was going to be that. I was shocked that the length was fine for me, to be honest with you. And I wrote on Twitter, I was never a Goldberg guy. Not once did I ever like him. Why did he need security to be escorted
to go
to
down?
the ring when there's no one
He's
there?
the best dude in the world.
I think he's.
I think the security angle made him look like a UFC fighter. I think that was a thing because in the MMA they walk down, they have their entourage. So I believe that might be why they gave him that. But you're right. If you're the baddest dude in the world, why do you have people next to you?
So I was fine with him losing. Like I said, I was never a big Goldberg guy. And Strowman actually called in one time, and he's a cool dude to talk to. So I was happy that they gave him. I'd like to see the push. What happens after this? Let me ask you a question. My brother wrote this on Facebook, Chip, and he said that he feels like heading forward that WrestleMania will always be 2 nights from here on out.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It is the biggest one of the year, right, of any corporation. So, I mean, I think it could because last year it was like long, dude. It was like, 7 hours with the prelims? Yeah. I mean, that's just too long to sit through, man.
Well, and I liked Saturday night. It was 3 hours, and I legitimately, and my wife too, she said, that's it? It's over? And I was like, yeah, it's over. But then last night, I thought it was going to be another 3 hours, and I look at it and I go, this thing's going till 10. That's it. So, but I don't know how they'll fit it in because you have your NXT takeover, you have your Hall of Fame ceremony. It's already considered it's a 4-night event, but really it's a week because they have all the WrestleCons and everything else going on, and indie independent wrestling things going on. But the Hall of Fame's been pushed back. You have your NXT takeover, and then usually Monday Night Raw is the same too as well. So
right.
But they did a good job. It's not easy to do, and it made creative think instead of doing the usual. Here's our storyline. Now it's all coming to culmination that we've been putting together since SummerSlam, basically majority of them, the story angles, or Royal Rumble.
I would have liked to have seen Test or Randy Orton get thrown off the top of that semi because they could have put him out on the ground because they're filming it, right? So they could have just cut and he was laying on the floor and he's knocked out.
And I thought that was a disappointment, that match.
Yeah, and it was long. That was a long match.
I think it was 36 minutes.
Yeah,
and it didn't
way too long to end like that. Yeah,
it did not need to be that long. But like I said in the post, there are people out there like, I can't believe you're watching this. I can't believe that you still watch it. I was like, man, you got to find something. I mean, now we got esports out there, and I didn't watch over the weekend, even though I posted it and talked about it, the NBA 2K, that tournament that they had on. Kevin Durant, and we had AC Earl in on Friday. He said that the seedings came based on their player rating as a player. It's not true. The ratings came by what they were in the game. And years in there, Durant got beat. He was a 1 seed. Yeah. He got beat, and he got beat easily. Trae Young won his, but the gamers really came through. Devin Booker, Andre Drummond, they are all in the quarterfinals. Let's see, and that they put that on Friday night and Saturday night and Sunday as well. Now the other crazy thing was what happened for esports when it came to the NASCAR racing. I don't know if you saw this or not.
I haven't. I saw a lot of cornhole on ESPN this weekend.
Oh, the Ocho was going. All right, so a NASCAR driver, Bubba Wallace, lost his sponsorship over the iRacing. So here's what happened. He rage quit in the middle of the event on Sunday. He's one of the 32 drivers that were competing in the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series. So it's basically video game simulation, but it has a bunch of NASCAR drivers racing one another and other people that are in their league. Wallace and Clint Boyer were involved in a virtual wreck during the 11th lap of the 150-lap race. Okay? Immediately after the wreck, Wallace said, "This is why I don't take this blank serious. Peace out." And he quit the race. After quitting, Wallace went online and went to Twitter. And he wrote, "I ruined so many people's day by quitting a video game. Bah ha 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 ha. A video game. Damn, quarantine life is rough." Well, one of his sponsors, Blue Emu, which is a joint muscle cream, did not like his attitude. And they replied.
He probably could have used it. It sounds like he's a little butthurt himself.
Yeah, they replied, "Good to know where you stand. Bye-bye, Bubba. We're interested in drivers and not quitters."
Wow.
I know. He lost a sponsor over a video game.
Rough.
Like, that's something like my 8-year-old would do, like if he lost in Fortnite or Madden or whatever else. But
I was gonna say that we know everybody knows somebody that's thrown and broken a controller playing video games. Some of them have broke their TV with the controller because they get mad at video games. So I kind of see where he's at, because I do know a few people even our age that have done that.
Chris, we got to take our second break of the hour. When we come back, let's talk about some of the things you're doing poker-wise that keeping your time occupied while we're during this quarantine type of stay-in shelter type of thing. All right?
Will do.
All right. We'll be right back. ESPN 1170 AM.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
You're right on par in your M&M golf car.
M&M Golf Cars, your authorized club car dealer, invites you to check out the new Onward by Club Car. Onward's all-new accessories personalize nearly every detail to fit your lifestyle. Customize yours at mmgolfcars.com. 0% financing for 24 months through the end of the month. M&M Golf Cars, Bettendorf.
Right on par in your M&M golf car. M&M golf cars.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatación on ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Levitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Get your maximum refund and your taxes prepared for half the price with AmeriFile.
I'm Christy, a single mom from Bettendorf. I got tired of paying $250 at H&R Block, so I went to AmeriFile. As advertised, they did my taxes for far less than half the price.
Bring in a copy of last year's tax return done by H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, or any other tax preparer, and we will cut your tax prep fees in half, guaranteed.
This year, AmeriFile has the best tax prep deal in town. Save hundreds having your taxes prepared with AmeriFile, and you get free Rudy's Tacos, free Whitey's, free Chick-fil-A, Hungry Hobo, or Fresh Blend Smoothies. Trust AmeriFile's 30 years tax experience to handle any simple or complex tax situation. Remember, this tax season, save hundreds with AmeriFile, the best tax prep deal in town. Free Rudy's Tacos, Whitey's Ice Cream, or Hungry Hobo. AmeriFile Tax Centers, Davenport, Moline, and Clinton. Call 762-8087. That's 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com.
H&R Block is a registered trademark. After price taxes from last year's fees. $75 minimum.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce this show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sheedy Family Chiropractic is your choice for chiropractic care in the Quad Cities. Chronic problems, joint pain, or recent injury, don't let pain slow you down. Sheedy Family Chiropractic in Davenport can help decrease your pain and improve range of motion, keeping your busy life moving. Same-day appointments available most days for new patients and $20 sports physicals. Call today or visit SheedyChiro.com. That's SHEEDY Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic, getting you back to work, play, and life.
Golick and Wingo in the morning. Dan Levitard when you get to work. Don't hassle us, we're local for lunch. Spend your day with a Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us for Local here on ESPN 1170am.com. And, guys, I've gone to break now twice without reading an ad, so I apologize. You want to read one? Well, they're all over the place. See, this is what it's like, Chris, realistically. You walked in, and it seemed like we were doing... No, can't do that one either. Hold on. No, there you go. Read that one. Read that one. Yep. Thank you.
Dunright TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish Voice Remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Dunright has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you.
Nailed it.
And Kelly Jeffries is an awesome dude.
He's a great dude.
Awesome dude.
You nailed it. A couple of things. The golf schedule from 2020, the Masters have been moved to November as they been shuffling up the majors. The PGA Championship was previously supposed to be in May, will be held August 6th through the 9th. The U.S. Open, which was scheduled for June, will be September 17th and 20th. The Ryder Cup remains the same, and the Masters is moved to November 12th and 15th through the 15th at Augusta. Previously, that would have been coming up next weekend.
Are we seeing another Tiger Phil thing? Did I see that?
They are talking about doing a Tiger Phil thing, but this time it's going to be with partners, kind of like a Pro-Am. But that just leads us to being able to speculate on all the crazy people that maybe we would have on there. I know someone posted that'd be cool to see Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And speaking of, Tom Brady's going to be on Howard Stern on Wednesday.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm not a Howard Stern guy, but I'll probably will listen, give an idea of content. The other thing that Kyle pointed out on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, that Iowa golf courses in the Quad Cities are going to start IDing.
Yeah, you can't be from Illinois. No other state, just Iowa.
Because they're trying to stop the shelter in place. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Illinois, yep, for sure.
So, because they're saying Illinois residents are coming over, which these are the things that drive me crazy. Stop. Let them do it. What are they going to...
Right.
Yeah, we're going to have... So, Grubhub can deliver booze and just eyeball you and say, like, yep, you're 21. But now golf courses you have to have identification. You have to give a fake ID to golf.
It's amazing. This is the world we're living in 2020.
It's not a world I want to live in, Chris.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But are Illinois golf courses shut down? I guess I'm not sure.
Yes.
They are shut down.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. That's rough. That's rough for Illinois residents. Oh, they can't even find a golf simulator because the bars are shut down.
Jeez. Well, I wonder, and I know shelter in place, I guess I shouldn't encourage Illinois residents, but I don't know this. I really don't. So I don't know if it's private lessons or if they're open at all. So, again, if I'm stepping on toes or if I'm saying things that's not true, but a friend Chris Larson at the clubhouse over there in Elmore. I don't know if that's open, that links are, or if you can contact for private lessons. I don't know. But
I get taking the hoops off the basketball hoops, on the rims in the parks. What sport are you going to play where you're less than 6 feet away than golf? I mean, you're, 50 yards away from your partner that's playing with you most times. You know what I mean? Like, there is no other sport you can play where you're farther distance apart from somebody than golf. Like, if you're shutting golf down, forget it. If you like to play sports, you're just done.
I have no idea, what I don't even.
You're
know
gonna play hacky sack in your bedroom with your 8-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't even know if disc golf is still allowed or not.
Yeah,
I might take it up.
Well, actually, I read today the Iowa governor shut down parks. Like, you can't even go to parks now. So
what?
Yeah, that was
their
today.
thing
Yeah.
at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. She shut down skating rinks, which how the hell those were
It
even
should have
open?
been, yeah.
Vape shops, parks, and a couple other things. Yeah, parks. That's one of them. So.
Man, I can't. I'm gonna have to go break that news to my dog. We're not gonna be able to play frisbee anymore.
Right. Better find a friend with a big backyard. I don't know.
Ah, boy, oh boy. Yeah, like you said, what a world we live in. All right, over the weekend. Let me bounce this off you, my friend. The 2020 Basketball Hall of Fame class was announced. Obviously, Kobe Bryant was on that group. Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Tamika Catchings, Rudy Tomjanovich, and Eddie Sutton. And there's probably more. Those are just the ones that
was Kobe Bryant fast tracked for this year?
No, he was available. He was
okay.
It's not the Basketball Hall of Fame is not a hard thing to get into. Okay? So, and it's not like first ballot means that much.
Are we talking like Derrick Rose may make it someday? Easy?
Derrick Rose will be in it.
Really?
I mean, yes. If Derrick Rose, he won an MVP. He took him to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, Derrick Rose will be in it. I mean, Jason Kidd's in it. So,
I feel like Jason Kidd had a great career longevity-wise, though. Like, Derrick Rose was definitely sporadic.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe they should have just done Kobe alone.
I think that'd be a great tribute, for sure.
Not only for a tribute, but also Tim Duncan, great career. Vanilla as can be, but a great career. KG, great personality, great career. That's what I'm saying. It's going to overshadow those guys. So maybe just let Kobe have his 1 year, and then they know going into 2021.
Right.
That was my takeaway of it. It's probably an unpopular opinion because people saying like
Tim Duncan and KG were two of the greatest power forwards ever, right?
Yes.
I mean, they were.
Yeah.
They're definitely both top 10 power forwards in NBA history. So, I mean, you can push him back, give Kobe his moment. I get that. But it's hard to not, those guys are special, those two.
That's what so to me right away, and I mean, it's a big deal. It was a big deal for Vanessa Bryant. She went out and her announcement was, and it's an incredible accomplishment and honor, and we're extremely proud of him. Obviously, we wish that he was here with us to celebrate, but it's definitely the peak of his NBA career, and every accomplishment he had as an athlete was a stepping stone to be here. So we're incredibly proud of him. I don't want to take anything away from it. I want him to have his tribute, and I also want KG and Tim Duncan. Now, it would have been a great class if they were all, if the tragedy didn't happen on January 26th for Kobe Bryant. It would have been amazing to have all of them go in. But now I just think it's eclipsing them going in, and I think it's one of those things. And I don't want it to overshadow KG and Tim Duncan. I mean, I'm being as transparent as can be. I'm a KG guy through and through, more than I am even close to being a Tim Duncan guy. So I want him to have his day, but I just think it's going to kind of overshadow it just a little bit. It's a good class, though. I mean,
huge. That's got to be one of the best, man.
Yeah, let's see.
Between those three.
Kim Mulkey, I said Rudy Tomjanovich, Barbara Stevens, Eddie Sutton, Patrick Bowman are all in there.
Rudy T was a hell of a coach, man.
Yeah, two-time
really
NBA
was.
championship, right?
Houston
94,
Rockets.
95. So they're coaches. They also, also on the he played as well. Some other classes, CBSSports.com did a good job putting their top 5 Hall of Fame classes of all time. He has at number 5 the class of 2008. Adrian Dantley, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Pat Riley, Ketchy Rush, Bill Davidson, Dick Vitale. It's a good class.
Good class.
Patrick Ewing, Hakeem
And Hakeem
Olajuwon.
Olajuwon,
Yeah,
yeah.
great. Patrick Riley, sure. Class of 2018 at number 4, Ray Allen, Maurice Cheeks, Grant Hill, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Dino Raja, Charlie Scott, Katie Smith, Tina Thompson, Ora Mae Washington, Charles Lefty, Drizel, Rod Thorne, Rick Welts.
Why so long for Maurice Cheeks to get in?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that dude's great. He was great. Like, he was great.
That's a strong class, though, with names in there. Just a lot of names.
Yeah.
Class of 1980, Oscar Robertson, Jerry Lucas, Jerry West, Les Harrison, Everett Shelton, Dallas Shirley. Then at number 2, he has this listed, this class to be number 2. And this is Colin Ward Henninger from CBSSports.com. And then the number 1 class of 2009, Michael Jordan, David Robinson, John Stockton, Jerry Sloan, C. Vivian Stringer.
Whoa, Vivian Stringer getting inducted with Jordan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Former Iowa basketball
Good
coach,
for her.
current Rutgers women's basketball coach.
Yeah.
And look at that. MJ's in there. The Admiral, Stockton, Sloan.
I can't argue with that one, man.
No.
No way.
Like I said, it's
You got John Stockton, the most assists ever, the most steals ever. Jordan, the greatest player ever. David Robinson, top 5 center of all time, probably. I mean, that's Vivian Stringer. That's a cherry on the cake right there. Jeez.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk real quick. Let's talk about what you're doing with QC Strong.
Sure. Yeah, so again, Foster over here, he owns a bar, I own a bar. We have a lot of emotional ties to people that work in this industry. There's a lot of single moms. I have a couple moms that work for me that this is their only job. They have 4 kids. So, I mean, they have a lot of mouths to feed. And right now, that's their only job. They're displaced right now. And so I really, really, really wanted to help out people in the service industry. So not just Billy Bob's, not just Pints, but people that are listening in DeWitt, people that are listening in Sherrard and LeClaire, anybody that's in the service industry, whether you're a bouncer, a bartender, a server, a busboy, a janitor, if you're working for a place that's shut down right now and you're looking to help get your bills paid, get food on the table, we are selling shirts. They're $20. It's on Facebook. If you go to Facebook/Quad Cities Strong. Quad Cities Strong. That's the Facebook page. They did something called Cedar Rapids Strong in Cedar Rapids. Our sister bar up there, the Country Bar, Hazard County, was doing it, and I contacted the place that was making the shirts. I talked to them, and they said they would be more than happy to help us down here in the Quad Cities. So now we're doing QC Strong shirts. They're $20. Here's the best part. $15. 15 are going right back to the displaced service industry workers. So they're only covering their cost at $5 a shirt. So it's fantastic. They're going to put in a lot of hours. I can tell you that right before I walked in, they told me that we're at $5,500 right now raised in the first three days of this. So
that's great.
That's amazing. It's only going till April 17th. So if you are listening, if you can't buy a shirt or 10, then please share. Please share the Facebook page. That's all I'm asking. We need to get the word out. That's why Jay's letting me come in here. Thank you for that. To talk about this. There are a ton of people in the service industry that really, really are relying on stuff like this. So QC Strong is the Facebook page. Facebook/Quad Cities Strong. $20 for the shirts, 15 rolls right back to the Quad Cities. We're going to be buying a ton of Walmart and Hy-Vee gift cards, and then if we can raise enough money, we'll also be paying, rent, electricity bills, phone bills to keep their phones on, stuff like that for them.
How long is this going till? If you said
April 17th. It's a week from Friday.
Okay.
A week from Friday, and then you can either get the shirts shipped to you at a cost, or we'll be actually handing them out May 2nd and 3rd at Billy Bob's. So if we have 500 shirts, if we have 2,000 shirts, we're going to be there. It'll be in mass, and May 2nd and 3rd, you can actually just pick them up, and so the shipping would be free at that point.
Okay. Well, let's not that we're going anywhere, but if you're okay with it in traveling and everything else, if you want to, let's do this again next Monday, just to bring the word out. We'll do it again, same time and everything else. So the first time we talked with you, it was back when we were the podcast in a bar, and you were doing poker.
Yeah, I was playing the main event in Vegas, yeah.
And what are you doing now to keep your game sharp?
Man, you know what? We were talking. So I am what they call a live game player. So there's different types of playing in poker. I'm a total read and feel guy. So if I think somebody's BSing me, I'll call their BS based on the way they're acting, the way they're looking, how they played the hand. And so online poker is huge. And right now, it's got to be at one of its biggest booming moments because there's nothing to do for poker players. So instead of playing every Wednesday night at Jumers, every Tuesday night at Riverside, and other big tournaments that have been canceled since then, that's all we have. So I've been playing a ton of online poker. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I'm not a huge fan of online poker. I played in a tournament last night where $65,000 was first place. There's only 3 tournaments in Iowa a year that have that kind of money, so that is nice that you can play tournaments every night that have that type of money. 9,000 players, top 500 get money. I took 498 actually, so I just squeaked into the money. But I don't like what they're called bad beats.
Yeah.
So if somebody's playing and you got your hand in really, really good, and they only have 1 or 2 options that they can hit out of 52 cards, and they hit it, you see that a lot more online than you do at live poker. So basically, I lost 2 major hands last night, and I had aces both times pre-flop, and I went against 3s and 5s, and they both hit. 5s hit both their 5s, and they had quads, and the 3 hit their 3. So they had 2 outers to hit, and the one hit it twice, and the other one hit it once. And you don't see it as frequently in live poker. So that kind of upset me. I could have had a really big stack, made a ton more money than I did last night.
Yeah.
But I had a positive cash. So, I mean, that's always a positive when you're winning. So it's called Poker Bros. That's the app I'm using. And pretty much everybody in the upper Midwest is on that site. So if you have friends in Des Moines or Chicago area, that's pretty much where everybody's going right now.
So the guys that you're used to meeting in the
that I play against,
they're all playing on that. Well, that's cool. Well, I guess it although that sucks, the bad beats, it keeps your mind going, keeps you something to do. I mean, you gotta, right?
As a poker player, you always want to win the most. The only thing that sucked is I played 5 hours, and I won like 1.5 times my buy-in, like over my buy-in.
Yeah.
So it's like I would like to won 30 times my buy-in or 50 times my buy-in, but you play 5 hours, you win a little bit, and then call it a day.
I want to thank you for coming in and doing what you're doing for QC Strong. It's fantastic. And hey, guys, go out there, $20 T-shirt. 5 is just for the cost of the shirt. 15 goes back. It's going to the restaurant service industry people out there. And keep doing what you're doing, man. And you're always the great thing about you is that you were doing this before it took a global pandemic to do it. You were always coming up with ways to give back, and you've been doing that since the moment we started messaging each other. You were always finding ways to give things back. So I appreciate any time you need to come on, anytime you need to spread any type of word, you've got the doors open, and you know that.
Hey, man, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to bring in Jimmy Siokas, Karen Marie Pena. We're going to talk to them for a little bit, and it's always fun to talk with them. Let me tell you about Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli on their menu. They use fresh ingredients, and orders are made from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to the roasted beet green salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. Don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices. And also don't forget about their gourmet popcorn. If you're going to have a movie night, you have one scheduled for Friday, get a hold of Bayside Bistro, see what kind of special gourmet popcorn they can make for you. They can come up with all types of delicious flavors. We've had Letitia and Daryl in here, so let me tell you something there. It's fantastic what they got going on down there. They'll do curbside pickup and everything. You can check out their Facebook page and read over 500 recommendations. Bayside Bistro is listed at 1105 Christie Street in the village of East Davenport. And sooner or later, you're going to be, looking forward to some big events. You need catering, or if you're going to host a private event, get a hold of them as well. It's locally owned. It's important to support local. We hammer that here at Don't Hassle Us for Local. You guys, we'll be back in just a few short minutes. Don't Hassle Us for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking
Yeah,
things.
this-
All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugatz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing. Do they?
It's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it.
Oh,
it is
that's God.
Right in the garbage.
right off the
Right in the
garbage. I'm
garbage.
going to throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM. The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce the show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170 AM. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. 1:02 in the afternoon, Monday, April 6th. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. Want to remind you that you can watch us on Facebook Live. Leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. You can listen to us on the app. Go to wherever you download apps. Look for ESPN 1170 AM. And you can listen to us online, ESPN1170am.com. Click in the upper right-hand corner to listen now. You can also listen. You can also read some of the things I write. I am behind in my suggestions of what we should write and what things you can do. We had AC Earl on Friday. He gave us suggestions of things to watch, read, all that good stuff. I do have my signed copy of Coach AC Earl's How to Create a College Athlete that I have to give away at some point this week. But I'll write our suggestions that we have. I've got a good list too. Want to thank Chris for coming on air. Chris Michaels, he's doing things for QC Strong, and want to remind everybody also about the Unite Quad Cities going on for the COVID-19 recovery. It's a 24-hour giving event to support community's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. 100% of the contributions will support Quad Cities organizations responding to crisis locally. Now, in studio, I've got Karen Marie Pena. She gets to get first billing because she's the most important. And then I got Jimmy Siokas. Jimmy, you're going to have to move that microphone down just a little bit.
Tell me when.
Huh?
Right there?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's move this around this way. All right, we're good to go.
All right.
So, all right, first things first, Jimmy. What's with the snake? Jimmy's got a snake around his neck. It's not a real snake.
This is in honor of Snake Plissken.
All right, what's Snake Plissken?
I heard earlier that Governor Cuomo is about ready to order a complete lockdown of New York City, and nobody is going to get in or get out. And I just thought, if there's one man that could, it was Snake Plissken.
Yeah, that's right. Escape from New York.
Yeah, I called it Snake Plissken.
It's a good.
That's his name.
That's nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I don't know how I've made it this far without having you on the show, Jimmy. I just don't get it.
Man, I'm so happy to be here. You and I go way back.
Yeah.
and you've given us a good and safe reason. I sterilized before I came in.
That's good. I'm glad,
sterilize
you did that on the air so people can see if
Hold
on. Yeah, I don't want anyone to sit there and say like,
That's how I take my showers usually.
Social distancing.
You've given us a good and safe reason to get out of the house and
you guys can be that close together. You're engaged.
Yes, we are.
So that's fine. Congratulations, by the way, for that.
Thank you. Hopefully, if the coronavirus doesn't have its say so, we'll be getting married on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've known each other for almost 20 years.
Uh-huh.
And finally got the chance to ask her to marry me, and she said yes. So another 6 months.
There you go.
Mr. and Mrs. Siokas. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. So we had Chris on, and you work with Chris at Sudlow.
At Mid-City.
Mid-City, sorry. And it just, by chance, your name got, and I said, I just don't understand. I can't believe he hasn't been on here, especially during this. I mean, we've chatted briefly in between, like you saw, like our 10U softball team, and when Emma, you saw that, and then we kind of just chatted about the show. But I was just shocked, like that I didn't reach out as soon as you guys were done. Just be like, you got to be on the show, Jimmy. You're a character. You're great.
Well, hey, let's do this every day.
This sucks. This sucks that. And Karen, not to say that you're not
No,
great.
no,
you
no.
are.
I get it. I understand.
I mean, so Jimmy, I'll just let everybody know. Jimmy says, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to come on." He's like, "All right." And this was like Wednesday. And I mean, I'm dying the text that you're giving me because you're like, all right, what's our rundown? And I'm like, this is not how the show works. I do not plan this far in advance ever. Like
he's been prepping the whole
ready
time.
to go.
You did say snakes were okay, though.
Yeah, I said everything's fine. Yeah, it's good. So it made me laugh because I just know that we're going to have a great conversation. For you two, when we get into sports, but you two both played ball in college, baseball and softball. Mm-hmm. Right now, what I want to do is I want to talk about that type of thing, what got you to that level, any coaches along the way, any advice that you have for young softball, baseball players out there, and any advice that you have for any coaches out there. And then finally, any advice that you have for these young players to do during this time. I mean, if parks are shut down, are we allowed to hit grounders? Like, what can they do to work on these things? And I know that's a lot that I just laid on your plate or whatever else, but let's start. Karen, take me through your prep career. You played at Rock Island Almond, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then do you want to?
What year were you? What year did you graduate?
2000.
Okay.
Graduated 2000.
Were you on the '98 team?
Yes.
The team that just went in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
You're a Hall of Famer. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. How was your time at Rock Island Almond?
It was great to be a part of a winning softball program. I played for a great coach, Jay Hatch. I don't know if you
I know
him.
Not have been on the show though.
I don't even know if he's not at Almond anymore.
He's not.
He's at Riverdale, but
Yeah.
Just to be surrounded by a great group of girls and who obviously have played softball all their lives, and majority of the girls that I played with, I actually played travel ball with, so it was easy for me to fit in and be a part of a team.
Yeah. How did you make your choice to go to Western, right?
Well, at first,
Okay.
I went to a junior college in Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
Santa Fe. So I went there for 2
How
years.
did that come about?
Originally I was supposed to go to, I got recruited by Lou Harris, who's at University of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, which one of my biggest regrets, I didn't put school first, so because of my grades, I wasn't able to go right away. So I ended up going to Santa Fe Community College, and Coach Harris hooked me up with that school. So I went there for 2 years. And then I was fortunate enough to end up going to Western Illinois University just because we had some family issues going on. My dad was sick at the time, and it worked out to where I was able to come back, be closer to home in case something happened. I was only 2 hours away from home.
What's the difference from high school ball to JUCO to D1 ball?
Can I add something here?
Yeah.
She never gave up a home run in her high school career. And she told me the story. The first time she ever gave up a home run was in that high-level JUCO ball, and she just couldn't believe it. She even went home and called her dad right away. So
See, that's it. There
is a difference.
Yeah, there's the jump right there. I guess that's the one. That's your welcome to the next level moment, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, the game doesn't change, and I could say this even from a coach's perspective, whether it's JUCO or it's NAIA or it's Division III, Division II, Division I. You know, one thing I've learned even as a player and as a coach that obviously girls go to schools for different reasons. You know, I've had, even through my coaching experience, I've seen a lot of players who could have easily played Division I softball, who played JUCO ball for whatever reason, just because that program just fit what they were looking for as far as what they wanted to go to school for.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as high school to JUCO to Division I mean, from a pitcher's perspective, obviously I was focused every single pitch, but at the Division I level, your 4 and 5 hitters are usually your best hitters, and the entire lineup's stacked.
Yeah.
Compared to high school.
We just got joined in the studio by T. Roy.
Hey,
T. Roy,
hey.
Jimmy, Camry. This is T. Roy.
Hi, guys.
Hello, T. Roy.
I didn't expect you to come in, so I gave them your seat.
I texted you.
I thought
I texted you. I was on my way.
I thought the text would be more about a hot mic and how I need to not yell at people.
You want a cold one, T. Roy?
Oh, well, I better not.
No, I got a Corona here.
I better not for right now.
I also thought of you, Jay. I brought a Foster's in.
Oh wow, that's nice of you. Look at that.
In case you're
What do you mean, hot mic? Did you?
I'll tell you after here. Anyway, Karen, sorry to interrupt you.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like you said, it's some programs just better for each player, and I think that is one of those things those moments that you said about giving up that home run that Jimmy brought up, but you said it as well. That's your welcome to the bigger leagues. I do have a question for you. After that girl went deep on you, did you plunk her next time up?
No, I didn't.
You
You should have plunked
it. Have you ever hit a player on purpose?
That's a great question.
A little bit closer to Mike, because I want to hear this. Yeah.
Come on, the whole world's watching.
Yes. I
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
A lot of the world is watching.
Question.
Okay.
Next question. Was it a female college softball player, or was it a mouthy kid in the Tri-County League named Jay Foster? Which one? I don't think you ever plunked me there. I'm just kidding. I think he only pitched against me like once. I'm sure you struck me out. No, but did you ever?
There was a moment. It was actually when I did play men's fast pitch.
Yes. This is awesome.
One of my teammates did not like one of the players from the Alito team.
Okay.
And asked me if I would hit one of the players, and I said, sure. So
you're not going to mention any names?
Was it Ron Foster that asked you to plunk the player?
I can't even remember.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So.
But was that it though? It wasn't men. It wasn't a.
I'm once in college. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were told to, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah. I was.
You were by. Okay. They'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's baseball, man.
I know. And speaking of,
you don't see that anymore, but.
Yeah, you don't. Not so much. Jimmy, same thing with you. From high school ball, where did you play high school ball at?
I played at Davenport West, and then I played for one of the first traveling teams that was ever invented, called the Davenport Dodgers.
Okay.
And we played 95 games every summer. We traveled the entire country, went to Canada. We played all of our home games at John O'Donnell. So I spent my 17 and 18-year-old year playing for the Davenport Dodgers, which was amazing. Coach Kielkoff, Coach Pilch, they meant so much to me, and because of that exposure, I got to play ball at a junior college, Garden City Community College, which is in Kansas, and from there I played Division II at Fort Hays State University.
Where's Fort Hays?
Both in Kansas.
Okay. What's the jump like for those from high school to JUCO to D2?
Well, it's a funnel system. You know, when you play high school ball, what would you say? maybe 1 or 2 players from every high school team get to go play college baseball.
I'd say that's legitimate. Yeah.
And when you get to that college team, for me, it happened to be Garden City, which was a very high-level JUCO. Every guy in that field was that 1 or 2 top guys from their high school team. So now all of a sudden, it's like a wolf pack, and you're trying to figure out, we were all the alphas. Now who's going to be the alpha here?
Uh-huh.
And Garden City for 2 years was an amazing experience. They had a ball field out in the middle of western Kansas that would rival John O'Donnell Stadium. And we played some great ball. Now, to match notes with my beautiful fiance here, I couldn't go D1. I had a couple offers, but I couldn't because my grades weren't good.
Mhm.
I had a good friend who I worked in a baseball card shop with over on Avenue of the Cities. What do they call it now? They used to call it 23rd Avenue.
Yeah.
23rd Avenue.
Yeah.
It was
That's
called.
pretty much it.
It was called. It was right by George's Classic Cleaners. It was called Eckert's Card Shop. And Terry Christopher. I don't know if you know who TC is. He's an engineer now for John Deere. He played at Garden City. He set a single game record, striking out 17 guys in a 7-inning game. Got drafted by the Brewers, and he was doing rehab in his minor league stint. And I was working with him at the baseball card shop. And he says, "You want to play JUCO ball?" I said, "I want to play any kind of ball. I love baseball." And so he said, "Let me talk to the coach." And he did, and they sent some game footage of me playing, and the coach said, "I want him." And I went down there, and it was an amazing 2 years. Now, one of my biggest regrets was Star Wars and video games and screwing around was pretty much just as important as playing baseball. So after 2 years at Garden City, I didn't have good grades. And I don't think I reached the level that I could have reached, so I had to go D2. I went to Fort Hays State University, which is 2 hours north of Garden City, and I'm telling you, it was like going back and playing high school ball. The JUCO level at a high JUCO compared to that mediocre Division II school. And no offense to Fort Hays State, I had great memories there, a great ball team. We were the first baseball team to win the conference. It was the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, which I think has changed. And we're talking back in the 1900s. So I went from high school ball to a high-level JUCO, and I dare say down to a D1 after that. But it was amazing. My college baseball career was great, and after that, I always say college was the best 10 years of my life, and I mean that. It was very fun. And after I was done playing college baseball, I came back here in the summers, and I played a couple years for the Muscatine Red Sox. You've heard of them. Just a local adult league. It's called semi-pro baseball. And after a couple years there, I started becoming the old man on the team. I was 24, 25 at the time. I played, I couldn't stop playing ball, so I started to play slow pitch. I played 1 year of slow pitch, and just didn't work for me. I didn't understand the concept of playing a game where you had to try not to hit a home run. And it was thankfully at the end of that year, a salty old dog named Ron Foster came up to me and a couple other guys on that team and said, "Hey, we need some players. We're going to play in this called Fast Pitch Tournament. You guys interested?" I said, "Yeah, let's go try it." And I went, and I was instantly addicted.
So you were playing slow pitch, and my dad just happened to be playing on the team, or
I don't
another
remember
team,
how
or
it worked.
was he just scouting in the stands eating popcorn? Because that sounds like him too.
To be honest with you,
he was stalking young
Just-
men.
he drove by, there was a big- there was a
Mr.
slow
Foster
pitch
was stalking young men. Hope he's listening right
He's
now,
driving
too.
by. He is. He's
Way
driving
to
by.
go, Ron.
Sees a slow pitch game. He's like, "What? They didn't call me?"
I think the other two guys that came and played was Darren Pettis and Scott Scooter Lange.
Yeah.
And so your dad somehow got a hold of us. And if this is a long time ago. This is 30 years ago.
He was probably sending out
I don't think
smoke
it was
signals
30
back
years
then.
ago.
25, man. All right, I'm off
I
by
don't think so.
5.
I'm gonna fix this camera. Keep telling the story.
We went and we played this game, and I was instantly hooked. Here's a game that has all the intensity of baseball, where that pitcher is throwing it as hard as they can, and your job is to just try to put the bat on the ball. And if you're good, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times. This was a breath of fresh air, and I played baseball my entire life. I also played stickball. We renovated the entire West High School tennis courts against the athletic director's will. We snuck up there after dark. We painted batters boxes, home plates, pitching mounds. We even painted the poles yellow for the foul poles. We measured the fences. We had home run distance signs. There was about 12 of us in the west end of Davenport that from 1988 until about the year 2000, we were playing stickball on these tennis courts from 45 feet away, throwing as hard as we could with a tennis ball, using real baseball bats. And you talk about an activity or a game that'll improve your ability to see and hit a baseball. Stickball was great. That came to the wayside. Baseball came to the wayside. I didn't enjoy slow pitch, and all of a sudden your dad comes to me and says, you want to play this? Well, for the next 15 years of my life, that was my passion. Every summer I played not only Tri-County League, but I played for the Quad City Sox. We traveled the country. We went to Canada. We played in the World Series. And that's how I met my fiance here. I don't know if you can tell, she's wearing the Greece.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, because she's going to be Greek the hard way through marriage. Cheers. You want me to tell you how we met, Foster?
How?
You were there.
What do you mean I was there?
Well, let me pull this up real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Here, are you surprised?
No.
This here is I call it the metal cleat, because the big difference between men's fast pitch and men's slow pitch is we wear metal cleats.
Okay.
This is every single season, every single game, documented.
It's like stocking on steroids.
Yeah. And you go back all the way back to 2002 here, and there's a game. Well, I'll just tell you the story.
Yeah. So you have 2004 in there?
I got every year from 2000 from the year 1999 to present day.
I had a legitimate good 2004. I hit pretty well that year.
Did you?
Yeah.
You had a couple years where you hit 400.
See?
Well, look at you.
Look at that. That's why I bring
Look
it
at
in.
you, George Brett.
No, Brett only hit 390.
That's his guy.
That's my favorite player, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the Chiefs today because baseball hasn't started, and hey, we're Super Bowl champs.
There you go.
So tell the
Shout out
story.
to Chris Schlichting there.
Tell the story how you met.
Well, you remember, we would play in the Tri-County League, and, it's a very basic league. We play maybe 25 games a summer. Lindsay Park, Walcott, Dixon, Durant, all these small farm towns. And when we first started playing, there was probably maybe 10 teams in the league.
Yeah,
And
easily.
it was very fun. All of a sudden, we show up one day, and there's this Mexican cutie warming up
How'd
in the
you know it was
bullpen. Because of those legs, baby. Because of those legs. She's warming up in the bullpen. She's wearing shorts. And all of a sudden, you, me, and everybody else in that team are thinking, what's going on here? Well, there's no rule in the Tri-County League that says a girl can't play. And at that time, you were All-American at Western Illinois?
No, I was soft. I think I was just coming back from Santa Fe.
From Santa Fe. You ended up being All-American at Western Illinois,
did
right?
Ron
Honorable
Foster
mention,
stalked you
honorable
too?
mention. What's that?
Ron Foster
No.
stalked you down too?
No, she played for a different team.
Oh, one that got away.
Yeah, that's he only stalks young boys, I guess.
Yeah. Way to go, Ron. Way to stalk them young boys.
But later she would become All-American at Western Illinois, right?
Honorable mention.
Well, I'm honorable, and I'm going to mention it, all right? So she was honorable mention All-American. Here's this beautiful pitcher warming up in the bullpen throwing BBs. And we're thinking, all right, we're going to have to face this girl. First time in our lives we ever played against a girl. And I've got the box score in here. She struck out 10 that game. She beat us. We lost. Well, the Titans, we were a second-tier team at that time. But
Jay didn't play that year?
At that
oh, yeah, he played. He played. His brother Chip.
Or who struck out more against her, Chip or Jay?
I'll look that up here in a second.
We'll look it up at break.
But my very first at bat, I was batting cleanup, and I think it was in the second inning. She struck out the first three batters. So I get up, and I'm having a hard time concentrating because I'm looking at what the short shorts, whatever.
That's what she did that on purpose.
She cheats me on a high changeup. I was down in the count by 2 strikes. She cheats me on a high changeup, and I knocked it out of the park. And I ran around those bases thinking, oh my God, I never felt so good to hit a home run off a
run
girl.
Around the bases. You rubbed it in my face as you were going around the bases.
And then 20 years later, when I proposed to her last summer, we were going on a trip to Montana, and we got up early in the morning, and I said, hey, baby, let's take the scenic route. So we drove, and I drove by Lindsay Park early in the morning. The birds were chirping. She said, what are we doing here? And I said, I thought we'd just have a blast from the past. So we go out into the field, and I say, hey, why don't you walk out there in the mound? It's summertime, so we're in shorts and T-shirts. And I get in the batter's box, and I act like I got a bat, and I'm doing my wiggle. I says, throw me one, baby. And she acts. She goes, she plays along. That's what I love. That's what I love about her most. Is she plays along with all my idiosyncrasies. And so she throws one. I act like I hit it out of the park. I'm jogging around the bases, talking to her, telling her I love her. I don't want to live without her. I come around third base, and I say, baby, meet me at home. And so she walks up, and I get to home plate, and I said, that was a home run, and I want a home that we can both run to. And I got on one knee at Lindsay Park.
Well, there you go.
Oh, that's
Jason start crying.
You are. That's a great story.
So fast pitch has meant a lot to both of us, and that's one of the passions we both share. I stopped playing 3 years ago, but I have everything right here, and I wouldn't trade this for the world.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break and talk more. We'll talk about sports.
Yeah, I want to see who got struck out most, Jay or Chip.
But first, locally owned and operated in the Quad Cities since 1934, Tri-City has been your source for restaurant equipment value, quality, very competitive prices, and full service. Your restaurant equipment choices include kitchen, cookware, cooking equipment, refrigeration, kitchen utensils, tableware, glassware, and flatware. All restaurant equipment and kitchen equipment sales are guaranteed, including 30 days labor and 90-day parts. If you're looking to get into if you're going to cater something or event that maybe is coming up, or you're looking for some specific items, or maybe just something for the home chef, check out Tri-City Equipment online at tricityequipment.com or stop down at 527 West 4th Street in Davenport and see their newly remodeled 2,400 square foot showroom with over 1,600 items in stock. Tri-City does deliver to the Quad City residents, and they will match any online price. Give them a call today at 563-322-5382 for any questions you may need for your bar, restaurant, or personal kitchen. Again, the showroom's open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and it's located at 527 West 4th Street. We'll be right back. Don't hassle us. We're local. ESPN 1170.
This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old, needed sold, Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
Hey, this is Eric at Winger Truck Line, where we have been in continuous operation without a layoff for 74 years, and we are hiring drivers. During this unprecedented time in our nation's history, Winger Truck Line is staying strong and hiring for regional home weekends. We are busy serving our families, our customers, and our nation. How about you? Call me today, 800-593-6433, or see us online at drivewtl.com. Let's go!
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. And I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking things. All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugatz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing, do they?
It's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it. It is
right in the garbage.
Right off the right in the garbage. I'm going to throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Is your kitchen or bathroom embarrassing? You need them redone. But do you know a contractor that you could trust? You need an all-star. You need to call Mike at All-Star Home Services. Mike and his team have been transforming kitchens and bathrooms for over 15 years. Call today for $500 off your complete kitchen or bath project. Plus, with financing available, get your kitchen or bath done today for one low monthly payment. Call 563-299-3786 or at all-starhomeservices.com.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce the show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Town Square Media is coming together with our community this Monday, April 6th, for Unite Quad Cities, a one-day, all-hands-on-deck giving event to support our community's relief efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic. 100% of donations go to the Quad Cities Disaster Recovery Fund, which supports local organizations supporting local Quad citizens impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Give online at unitequadcities.org or text UNITE-QC to 41444 to give on your phone.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
All right, everybody, we're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish, and this is Don't Hassle So Local on AM 1170.
This quarantine. I saw you yesterday. We did the show on Friday. I feel like I haven't seen you, even though I saw you yesterday. I feel like I haven't seen you in a month, and I'm like, hey, do you want to bring us back? Like, you don't know how to do it. Like, I just don't get it.
We had fun yesterday for, an hour.
Social distancing.
Social distancing for an hour,
All right, we're in the House Castle. We got Jimmy Siokas, we got Karen Marie Pena in here. We're talking all kinds of things from baseball as a youth, softball as a youth, and college ball. But we want to just keep the conversation rolling about sports. Jimmy, you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Good job.
No.
I feel like everybody's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so this isn't like an anomaly.
Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs fan, but I just feel like everybody is.
Jay, don't say it.
That's because they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's because exactly. Kansas City Royals fan, which is nice. I would say, okay, we'll just go back and forth. First time I met you was really I was in college up at UNI, and my dad had me come back for a game or whatever else, and he said, you got to meet this Jimmy Siokas guy on the team. He's a character. You're going to love him. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I'm like, I'm a character. He's not a character. But I immediately fell in love with you. The only thing that we fall different on is you are 100% head to toe uniform. You're going to play good. You're going to look good.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, I'll wear shorts and a T-shirt and still break up a double play in a heartbeat. I'll slide every time. Doesn't matter to me. I'll wear whatever I'm doing. I'm going to play hard, whatever else. But you're the guy. If every time you see like the site like UniWatch and the different uniforms, I think of you. You like a good uniform.
I do. There's two things I share with Joe DiMaggio. The nickname Jolton. Mm-hmm. And Jolton Jimmy. Yeah. He once said that I owe it to every child in every stands of every ballpark that I play in to look my best and play my hardest, because it may be the first time they ever see Joe DiMaggio play. And I thought about that.
Okay.
And I thought, wow, if you stumble across the ballpark and you stumble across the game, whether it's slow pitch, fast pitch, any kind of level of baseball, and you see these people out there playing, no offense, Jay Foster, or as I used to call you, Stifler from the American Pie movies.
Sure.
Doesn't he look like him? A little bit. If you stumble across the ball game, and that grass is green and mowed, and that dirt is drug, and those teams both have beautiful uniforms, all completely the same, it instantly makes it better. It's the difference between having stale popcorn and hot, salty popcorn when you go watch a movie. Now, you ever heard of Sparky Anderson?
Yeah, I've heard of Sparky Anderson.
My favorite manager of all time. He was a military guy. He managed the Big Red Machine. He used to carry a ruler
and the Tigers
in his pocket. Yeah, 84. The Tigers won it with him.
With Kirk Gibson.
Yep, Kirk Gibson, Lance Parrish, Lou Whitaker, Willie Hernandez, the only closer to win an MVP and a Cy Young Award in the same season.
Who was the pitcher?
Jack Morris.
Jack Morris.
Yep.
There you go.
That's another claim to fame. You can blindfold me and ask me any year since 1903, and I can tell you who won the World Series. We have a little spare time at the end. But anyway.
Do you have to be blindfolded, though?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's fun.
I didn't know maybe this is something you guys picked up after you got engaged.
Sparky Anderson would carry a ruler in his back pocket, a 12-inch ruler. And his rule was, no pun intended, his rule was, your stirrups had to be 12 inches off the ground. And if he thought they weren't, he'd throw you the ruler and say, hey, baby, check your stirrups. Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, all these Hall of Famers, they would be humble and they'd say, okay, sir, and they'd check their stirrups. And when you saw that Cincinnati Reds team line up on the third base or first base line for the national anthem, it looked like a well-oiled Rolls-Royce car engine.
So
you
want-
can't
you
beat
want
that.
high
Nowadays,
stirrups?
it doesn't matter. If I was the manager of a big league team, I'd go into the clubhouse and say, hey, baby, you're the captain, whoever it is. Bryce Harper, you're the captain of the Phillies. I'm coming back in a half hour. Whoever it is, I'm coming back in a half hour. I want to know high stirrups, low stirrups, no stirrups. I want to know white shoes, red shoes, blue shoes. I want to know what color batting gloves. We're a team, baby. We look better as a team unit, and I don't care how we do it, but we're all going to look the same. Why
the Yankees have the no beard rule?
Oh, that's there's loopholes in that. There's been some guys that have had a mustache. Goose Gossage had one in the
Mustache,
70s.
no beard. Yeah. I mean, they've had.
I don't think Steinbrenner owned him then, though.
But in the
70s
he
he
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
he
they
did.
won it in 78 or 77, 78.
He fired dude like 20 times one year.
When I go to a major league game now, is in comparison to the 70s and 80s when teams all wore the same color cleats and everything else. I go to a big league team, a big league ball game. I see 9 guys out there in 9 different color cleats, 9 different styles of socks, 9 different styles of sweatbands and batting gloves. And what it screams to me is I am more important than team.
I have to say, you're right. For every time when I sat there and said, it doesn't matter, whatever else, but from what you're saying and registering me and being a coach, you're right. You're 100% right.
I always am, Jay.
Well, I'm not gonna go that far, but in this situation, I guess I just downplay. I guess you should walk it if you're gonna talk it, because I just looked at it. I was like, oh, it's Tri-County or whatever else. But you're right. I mean, you are. Because I remember the way I wanted my wrestling team at high school to look, and it was all pretty much uniform the same way all the way through.
It goes back to the military. Baseball came out after the military, and the military has always been our standard for looking as uniform, as a team, as a group, as a unit. And that's why they call it a uniform. They don't call it a multiform. Tell all these players who wear.
Look at this.
It's a fact. They call it a uniform. A good coach should stomp their foot in the clubhouse and say, all right, I'm giving you guys freedom to figure out what color spikes, what style stirrups, what style everything else, but I'm coming back in a half hour and I want to know, and anybody else who doesn't follow by that uniform is getting fined. That's what I would do.
Kangaroo court style, right?
Holla.
How? During this thing...
I would go no stirrups, long pants.
That's a good look. I kind of like that look. Yeah, I do too.
I hated stirrups.
But do you ever notice when you go there that there's 2 guys out there that have the high stirrups and everybody else has the low?
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. But if it was me, I would be the no stirrups, long pants, even maybe like the flared at the bottom.
Do you guys know how the long pants came about?
Manny Ramirez?
No, not Manny Ramirez.
Somebody bought the wrong size?
No. Bill, you want me to tell you the story really quick?
Sure. Yeah, I need
Well, really quick, and a story with me doesn't work, but
That's true.
it's all because of Bill Buckner. In 1986, Bill Buckner in the World Series, his ankles were so bad that Nike made him a special pair of high-top cleats, just like Johnny Unitas' old football cleats. And he wore those cleats in that World Series, and of course, you know what happened. He booted the ground ball. The Sox almost won it. But Bill Buckner had for the first time ever, he wore high-top cleats. Well, the next year, 1987, Eric Davis said, that's kind of a cool look. I'm going to have Nike make me an all-red pair because he played for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, Eric
one
Davis
of the
was great.
One of the best players in the game.
Could have been the first 40-40 guy if he hadn't
Yes,
been injured. Yes,
but it was Canseco instead.
Yep.
So Eric Davis wears these high red cleats, and it only took a half a season for him to realize these look dorky because they're still wearing their stirrups up to their mid-calf. So what did they do? They started to ask the pant companies, can you make our pants longer so these high-top cleats look cool? Then Barry Bonds started to wear them, Bobby Bonilla. All these guys started to wear these high-top cleats, but they wanted the pants to go longer so these high-top cleats wouldn't look stupid with the high stirrups. Now all of a sudden,
protecting your ankles too, though, the high-top cleats.
Roger McDowell, who was the goofball closer for the New York Mets,
Jack McDowell,
yes, he said, I want them pajama style, just to be goofy. So they made them baggy. And in 1991, when Roger McDowell came out wearing what he called pajama pants, it was the new hotness. And ever since then, everybody wanted to wear these long, baggy pants. Nobody worse than Manny Ramirez. But it all started
but I like that because you've got room to move.
I've worn both styles. And, I agree with you. It's a comfortable pant. But it's all because of Bill Buckner.
All right, but I hated the tight pant thing. Oh, my God. It was like the basketball uniforms in high school. They were the worst. You're going right up your crotch.
You bring up baseball. We're in the middle of trying to find things to do with our time. We had AC Earl on Friday. He gave us some suggestions.
Is he living local now?
He lives in Iowa City.
What's he doing with basketball?
He's actually teaching a class at Iowa. He's a professor, and he's teaching sports management.
And he's also got his Venom Sports basketball camps that he does
he
on
does
Sundays.
some coaching as well. Yep.
When you're allowed to do that, which that's never coming back again. So anyway,
What do you mean?
What do you? No.
Is it all over? Did I miss a memo?
I mean,
what did Kim Reynolds say today?
Nothing. Nothing. You got to go to the beginning of the show. You guys have picked me up from being down to about where I was at my lowest here in the Hassel Castle. Anyway, during this time, baseball movies. If we're gonna talk top baseball movies that you guys would take your time to watch, that you would suggest, what are we looking at here?
You want to go first, baby?
For me, the first one that jumps out is A League of Their Own, just because I can relate to it.
All right, I'm not. You know what? I like League of Their Own. Mm-hmm. Tom Hanks' character is just hilarious. I mean, and it was based on Jimmy Duggan was based on Jimmy Fox, wasn't it?
Yes, he was.
Okay, yeah.
This was another thing that's a regrettable.
The only thing is
that was
Rosie
canceled.
should have been Marla Hooch because she's
Rosie was Rosie O'Donnell's character.
Yeah, she
yes.
should have been Marla Hooch because she's fat and ugly.
Like next week was supposed to be one of those things where they brought it back to the movie theaters for 2 nights, League of Their Own, and we were going to have an event. We are going to take our 10U softball team there, and that's another one that got canceled. That sucks about it. League of Their Own is one, I will say in my own personal, that I wouldn't jump out at me, but it's also a movie that I wouldn't turn off if it's on ever. So it's solid, except for the whole ending. Like, did she drop the ball? Didn't she? I mean,
yeah.
We went to Cooperstown, New York last summer. First time either one of us had been to the Hall of Fame. And when we got there, they had an entire section that was dedicated to the what is it called? All-American Girls Baseball League, the AAGBL, whatever it's called, which is exactly what the movie A League of Their Own was about.
Yeah, there's a song in it.
I remember seeing Karen Marie walk up to that section. I mean, have you ever been to Cooperstown? I highly recommend it if you're a baseball fan. It was amazing. It took me 47 years to get there. But as we're walking through this beautiful museum, we get to the section where they had a display of the All-American Girls Baseball League, and she just stopped, and she just walked up there.
I spent the majority of my time there.
And I saw her I was looking at her from in front of me, and she's just staring at these girls from 70 years ago, whatever it was when World War II was going on. And all I could think of was, if you would have been alive in that time and at that day and age, you would have played in that league.
Absolutely.
What a great thing for women in baseball, and what a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that the Hall of Fame has that display.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, my favorite thing was George Brett's pine tar bat. So
Pine tar incident's one of my. It's in my top 5 favorite moments in baseball. So it'll be brought up again.
I remember the day it happened. Like it was the biggest thing on sports.
It's probably my favorite thing when we say in this day in history. That's probably my favorite thing.
And that manager for the Yankees at the time was
Billy Martin.
Billy Martin.
That's when Steinbrenner was fired like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole thing is it's a BS rule to save money that Comiskey started over the pine tar.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you have for your movie?
Oh well, you got A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Mine? Probably Major League.
Major League.
Yeah.
T-Roy?
Oh, it's Field of Dreams, easy.
Okay, mine's my top 5 are Field of Dreams, Bull Durham.
Yep, that would be my second.
Up there too.
The Natural, and Major League, which are very cliche for a guy who grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
And the Field of Dreams is magical. It's a great movie. I was very fortunate 3 summers ago when I finally finished playing fast pitch. I wanted to film a short video, and I called up who's now passed away. Her name is Denise Stillman. She was the owner of the Field of Dreams.
Okay.
And I said to her at the time, I said, hey, is there any way I could come up and shoot a 5-minute video in your Field of Dreams? And she said, we have people come up all the time and do that. The only thing is that there's other tourists or guests, because it's open to the public. It's always open. People can come anytime, any day. I said, I understand. She said, you can't distract any tourists. You have to get off the field if you're filming, whatever. So we went up there, a group of 4 of us, and we filmed a 5-minute video. It turned out great, in my opinion. But I come out of the field in the old-fashioned uniform, and I hit my final home run round the bases. I even had my son and my nephew, who look like me, play my younger versions. And it was kind of a nostalgic, cameras panning around home plate, and you see me. I went to my old Little League field, my old Pony League field, and I had them stand there in my actual old uniforms, just as a way to capture, I'm done playing baseball. I got to go on the Field of Dreams, and guess what happened right after that? This whole New York Yankees, Chicago White Sox game. So I'm worried that field's never going to look the same. But I was able to capture it. So I got Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, The Natural, Major League, and my 5th favorite baseball movie, which I guarantee you guys won't have in your top 5, is Sugar.
Okay.
You ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, it's the one with the swing of the Quad Cities.
Yes, we filmed it here. I was fortunate enough. When I was done playing baseball, I did a little acting, and I'm going to guess the year was 2007, 2008 when they made that movie.
Did you guys film some of that at Max Tavern?
They may have. I was cast as one of the ball players. And when that movie first said, hey, the director who won some kind of Academy Award for the movie Half Nelson, can't remember his name, but he had some clout because he had already won an Academy Award, or he was nominated. Either way, he got some clout. He wanted to film at John O'Donnell Stadium. Excuse me for still calling it John O'Donnell.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So they have an all call, and I had done a little bit of acting, so I had a lot of friends calling me saying, hey, they're having a casting call, auditions at Joomer's Castle Lodge. This is back when it was Joomer's. Later the Lodge. Now
R.I.P.
Now it's dead. Now it's dead.
R.I.P. It's a quick start now.
Yes, it is. But what a great place. That was the closest to a haunted house I'd ever been in. But we went to this audition at Joomer's Castle Lodge, and there was a line out the door. And I just wanted to have fun. You know, acting's fun. Playing ball is fun. So I've done these things simply because they're a fun, creative time. If you don't grow up, if you're mature, it's one of the funnest things to do. And there's a line out the door. And I get in line, and guess who walks by? Johnny Marks.
Okay.
Used to write for the Rock Island Dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me, and he says, hey, Jimmy, come with me. So I followed him. He was hired by the group from Hollywood that was supposed to get the baseball players for this movie together. And he let me go through the entire line and come with him, and he looked at the casting people and says, hey, this guy, he's not only played ball, he's also an actor. You want him.
Fast-tracked here.
He said, okay, fine. And I walked out, and all the other people in line were looking at me like, you son of a gun. So I got to be in that movie, and we filmed it for 7 or 8 days at John O'Donnell Stadium. And we got to wear the swing uniforms. And
those were gorgeous, by the way.
Did you like those?
No.
Is that your least favorite Quad City team ever?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to agree.
Yeah.
You know, I'm old enough to remember the Quad City Cubs.
Yeah.
And then the Quad City Angels, and then there was the River Bandits, and there was a swing, and then it went back to the River Bandits. But so we go to John O'Donnell Stadium to film this movie for over a week. We only got paid $50 a day, and we were there for probably 10 hours a day, but that's $5 an hour. But the majority of the time, we were just sitting in the air-conditioned upper level of the structure, and we were given all the food we could eat, all the drinks we could drink, unlimited wireless. We were just sitting there chilling on the internet, and maybe once every 4 or 5 hours, the grips would run up and say, all right, places. And we'd have to run out there to the dugout and get in there and act like we're ball players or go out into the field and do whatever. And so, you know, I made $300 for going to the ballpark every day. I was a teacher at the time, so it was summer break. It was so much fun. But my favorite story about that movie is the main character was a Dominican minor league ball player who was a pitcher. They cast an actual minor league guy who played, I think he was drafted by the Expos back then, back when the Expos still had a franchise. Played shortstop, but now he had to play a pitcher. And in the scene they wanted to film, a player has to hit a home run off of him. So the director looks at the roster for St. Ambrose. I was 10 years older than all these other guys at the time, but I was lucky enough to get a uniform and be part of the group. But all these other guys are 22, 23 years old. It's supposed to be minor league baseball team. Kevin Sexton.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he went to West.
Yeah, played for Tri-County League, played for the Sox.
I think he was a former student of mine.
He played for St. Ambrose.
Yep.
The director just looks at the roster, and the way the camera angle was going to work, it needed to be a left-handed batter. So automatically I was upset that he didn't pick me, but I was 10 years past college. He looks at the roster and he says, okay, who's got the highest batting average, who's left-handed? Kevin Sexton. He had to put a batting helmet on, gloves and everything, and with a full stadium, because they had extras. The way they got extras back then, they didn't pay them. They said, all the hot dogs and pop you want, come fill the stands. So they're filming this scene, and Kevin Sexton had to go up there in the visitor team uniform and get into the box, and all the director told him was, look, all we need is for you to hit a fly ball to right field. Whether it goes out of the park or not, doesn't matter, just hit one in the air to right field. The pitcher, who's the main character, had to throw strikes. So now you got a complication. Can he throw strikes? Can this guy, Kevin Sexton, hit the ball in the air to right field? We're all in the dugout at the time. We're watching it, and we're all placing bets. How long it's going to take him, how many pitches, and can he actually hit a fly ball in right field? Kevin Sexton, I think it took him 7 or 8 pitches because this guy couldn't throw strikes, but his first swing with a wooden bat as a college player, what do you think he did?
Cordell Yard.
Yeah.
Yard.
He hit it out of the park. That's Kevin Sexton's claim to fame. I'm going to tag you in this later, Kevin. You're going to love it. Cheers.
You mentioned movies, and you've been in also some parts. I know you've done some things when it comes to Star Wars.
Mhm.
Han Solo, kind of Comic-Con, all that stuff. This guy likes Star Wars too.
Oh, I love
T-Roy
Star
does.
Wars. What's your favorite movie?
The
Here
Star
we
Wars
go.
franchise?
Yep. There's only 3, you know.
Yeah. It's probably still Empire, but I really did like Rogue One and Solo a lot.
You liked the Solo movie?
I thought it was great.
I hated that movie.
I
You know
see.
why? Because
Why?
they didn't cast me as Han Solo.
Yeah.
Well,
makes sense.
Of course, I was 20 years too old at the time. Here's my problem with the new movies. If you look at the old original trilogy movies, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, if you put a stopwatch and you start that stopwatch anytime there's high action and then click it off when the action stops, at the end of a 2-hour movie, you only got about 20, 30 minutes of high-octane action. The rest of the movie is spent with just the characters hanging out. You got everybody hanging out in the galley of the Millennium Falcon or Ben Kenobi's hut or in the Death Star quarters. They're talking, they're getting to know each other, and you become attached to them. So when they do go into battle, you're right there with them. Now, these new movies that Disney has made, even the prequels, they went the opposite way. 75% of the movie is high-octane action, and you get exhausted.
Transformers.
It's the same exact thing. If I had the prettiest sports car in the world and all I did was rev that engine up and rev it up to 5,000 RPMs and make the engine scream for 2 hours at a time, it would get boring.
Well, it's not boring. It's scary. T-Roy did it yesterday in his Mustang, and I didn't approve of it. When he asked me to go for a car ride with him, and then he turned the corner, and I was like, all right, we're good. Anyway.
What about you? What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I don't. The first one that I remember seeing in the theater, Jedi.
1983.
Yeah, I saw it in North Park.
love
I saw it
Jedi.
in North Park Mall.
I really did. I think Jedi
my
was...
dad took me. It's not. It has nothing to do with Ewoks or anything like that. I knew of Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I mean I've seen them up until.
I've seen them all, and I thought the
haven't seen the
newest
last
one was great too.
I haven't seen the last one. I haven't
Which
seen
was The
Solo.
Last Jedi?
I haven't seen the last one. I haven't seen Solo.
No.
I'm sorry,
Rise of
The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
I thought they did a good job of bringing those 3 films together with it, and granted, the first 2 were, to me, the first 2 were just okay. Like what it was, Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I thought they were okay because they were kind of just they were telling the story, but it was taking a long time to get where it was going. I couldn't figure out where it was going, and they finally tied it all together, and I like where it went. You know.
Well, I'll have to disagree on that.
Okay.
I have a theory where after Han Solo was frozen in carbonite in Empire Strikes Back, everything that happened after that was just his nightmares in carbon freeze. He's still out there floating in outer space somewhere like this.
Of course.
So nothing happened after Empire Strikes Back. Because A New Hope and Empire, those are perfect 10s. Those are perfect 10s. I did like Jedi, but not as much. I thought it was a little too Muppet showy with the music and little Ewoks.
Yeah, but you still went to Hardee's and got your cups for like $1.99, the glasses or whatever else of the Ewoks, right?
So I would ask her what her favorite. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I don't have a favorite. That's not one.
Oh, boo. I wanted her to say Black Star Warrior, which is a fan film that I was fortunate enough in 2009. I got to play Han Solo in it. It's on YouTube. Black Star Warrior. Go to YouTube, type in Black Star Warrior, check it out.
At least you didn't say Wrath of Khan.
Ricardo Montalban.
By the way, to me, that's still the best Star Trek.
Is he still alive?
Ricardo? I'm not sure. I don't think Tattoo is either.
Oh, yes. Fantasy.
But yeah, for whatever reason, Epix has been playing Wrath of Khan and then The Search for Spock back to back for like months on end. I don't get it.
Hold on a second. Do you have Epix, or
Yes.
are you getting the free preview?
I pay for Epix because I can't get HBO anymore.
Epix is just showing like every movie. Yes, like you said, but it like stops at like 1995. Every
Whatever
movie
it is,
made
yeah.
from 82 to 1995.
No, they're
It's
playing
crazy.
new stuff all the time.
No, they're not.
Yes,
I saw
they
the
do.
preview.
They
I
have
was
some
like,
new
this
stuff.
is crazy.
They played Avengers and Captain America.
Oh, they did do that back to back. Yeah, they really melted that. And they
They're
got
doing
some,
that, and then they're doing some other stuff. But no, ever since our friends at Dish have got to fight with HBO, we can't get anything.
HBO's back.
Karen Maurice just said her favorite Star Wars is The Mandalorian.
That's not true.
Oh, did you like The Mandalorian?
I thought it was a step up from all the Disney and prequel stuff.
Well, Jon Favreau wrote all and directed all that, or wrote them all, I think. He didn't direct every one of them.
Right? No, he didn't.
But I'll tell you what, Favreau. I like what Favreau did. Well, Favreau does a good job whatever he gets involved with. He got involved with a lot of the Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Iron Man was great.
And I'm a big superhero thing too.
I am
So
too.
the whole Captain America. And,
Yep. And we were fortunate enough in 2014, I believe, when the lodge closed down. I went in there one day when they were doing the liquidation sale, and I asked the guy, I said, hey, is there any way we can come in here and film a movie? And he said, yeah, sure, it sounds great. So we were lucky enough with all my kids and all their friends, we had about 14 little kids, we filmed a superhero movie called The Pretenders instead of The Avengers. And we filmed the entire thing in the old Lodge Hotel with nobody else in it. It was like a spooky haunted house. And when that was done, we were able to go to the IMAX theater at the Putnam Museum and do a premiere. So we were able to go into that place and look at it from the top floor down to the bottom. And I'm telling you, that place was a mess.
You made a movie and then you premiered it at the IMAX?
Well, yeah, it was $400. You can rent it out for $400, and it was easy to do. So that's where I didn't make any money off of it.
No, I didn't. That thing you did, it's still incredible that you're like, hey, let's make this movie and then let's have a premiere party.
Don't ever grow up.
I'm not saying. I'm not questioning. I think it's fantastic. We only have a few more minutes. During this time, as an educator, what do you see that's going on right now, Jimmy? Because, like, I don't know if they're going to go back to school. I don't know what's going on. We're trying to do this e-learning, but what...
You're putting me in a hot spot here.
No, it's not a hot spot. You mind your P's and Q's, whatever you feel. Don't ruffle any feathers that you
By
have
the
to.
way,
I'm not asking you
do
to.
you know where Mind Your P's and Q's came from?
No.
Yeah, mind your pints and quarts.
Mind your pints and quarts. I think this is, what is this, a pint right
That's
here?
a quart.
Corona?
Yeah. I don't know. Don't get yourself in any trouble or anything
I think,
like that.
okay.
I mean, I've already done enough of that today. So
From the school district here locally all the way up to the state, every person who's working at every job in the education world, they're trying to do the best they can. And they're trying to make sure everybody's as safe as they can be. So, yes, there's all these students staying at home right now. Yes, there are online classes that are available for the kids to take. You know, it's obviously not the same as being in the school, but what are you going to do? You want all these kids to be coming in 1,000 at a time, spreading the coronavirus? You can't do that. So it's desperate times, calling for desperate measures. I think the district and the state is doing a great job. And I'm very, very thankful that the state has given us our paychecks. You know, I've been at home now for the last 2 weeks, or is it 3 weeks now? I lose track.
You close it on 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
I'm on my.
I think this will be 4 weeks at the end of this week.
It's been 3 kegs. That's how I
Yeah.
keep track.
That's
So,
legit.
so I think they're doing a good job. I hope it gets over with soon. You know, I love my job. I love seeing my faculty members every day, and except for Chris Schlichting, he's kind of annoying. But everybody else I miss. I miss seeing the.
Why do I know that?
He's been on the show here. He's catchinddressasquirrel.com.
All right, I was gonna say, why do I know that person?
Yeah.
I know that person.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Looks a little bit like a young Ron Jeremy, but
He does.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
the old hedgehog.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know how long this is going to go for.
Great actor too, by the way.
He is a great actor. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not just a pornography actor. He's done real acting.
You talking about Ron Jeremy or Chris Schlichting?
Yeah.
Ron Jeremy.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Chris.
You know, I did send you guys both a text, like top 5 hobbies to pick up over the thing, and I was so worried that both of you were going to say pornography or whatever.
Well,
I was getting
masturbation was
yeah,
my number one.
I
What
was
are you
so
talking
worried.
about?
I was so worried about that, but and then now I'm the one that just opened up the can of worms or whatever else. But
That was on my list.
Yeah.
I didn't know you didn't say.
Yeah.
You didn't say what it.
I had so much more, and we only have 2 minutes. Like to go to, I know, and the show is always this way, and it always has been. Just you talk sports, but any type of avenue that it goes down, we never say like, "Oh, we'll go this way." And it's funny to hear that the sports world is kind of doing the same thing we're doing in Sports Talk Radio, just coming up with new ways. But I could honestly spend an hour with you two talking about Star Wars. I may not be a Star Wars guy, but I can always listen with you two. I had so much more planned for that, but
Who's your favorite character?
We're out of time.
Obviously, Solo.
It's Solo.
You never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Yours
Here's another
is-
thing I would love to talk about for an
my
hour.
favorite character?
Yeah.
It's probably Chewie.
Okay.
Even though you never know, it's always Han interpreting what he says for you in some way, shape, or form.
Which is what makes the movie
Yeah.
beautiful. It does. I wanted to talk about
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
who's the greatest hitter in the history of Major League Baseball.
In my eyes,
We can do it. It doesn't have to stop here. We haven't.
I gotta go with the era I grew up in. I love Tony Gwynn.
We have so many days of doing this, guys.
All around hitter, Tony Gwynn.
You got a minute.
That's a good pick. What's yours, Jay?
Bryce Harper.
Is it really?
No, I just love him.
Are you high?
Really?
Why?
Why?
I just know it drives people nuts.
I think
What
he's.
is
I
it?
think we're talking man crush here.
Yeah, I had Christian
Yeah.
Penny
Yeah,
on the
that's
other
who
day
you
and
wanna
asked him
make
who was
out
better,
with.
Trout or Harper,
Yeah.
and someone's like, "Is that a real question?" I'm like, "It's just a question." I know he's.
I mean, I knew Tony wasn't power, but I always loved Gold.
We'll do this again.
The guy hit 394 in the strike year. He almost hit 400, man.
All right, we gotta go. We'll do this again.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it again. You can come back tomorrow.
Woo!
We'll see you guys later. Karen, sorry.
No, hey, I get it.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for my somber moment at the beginning, but hey, we all got to get it out sometime. We got to air out that stuff. T-Roy, thanks for coming in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, Quad Cities. Enjoy yourselves.
This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 11.